y'all, welcome to Other Realm Studio. I'm Paula. I'm now working on my new time from 8:45 to 9:15 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. And I am trying to stay on topic. And tonight's topic is, but I'm not good enough, starting to improve. Now let me show you a mess. What on earth? Okay, so I thought, all right, I understand a little bit about perspective. I know how to do this the old-fashioned way. You just lay down the lines on one layer, and then yeah, it's not working out. I'm gonna go ahead and delete this one and just, I'm gonna have to look up how to use the perspective ruler. It's going to be an amazing tool when I learn how to use it. But for now, I have no clue what I'm doing. None. Alright, so let's see. Okay, so usually what you do is you do a horizon line and then you do your, uh, like your disappearing point. You pick a spot on there and everything's gonna like converge back to that. I don't know that I'm going to be able to do architecture today. But tonight's topic. What do you do when you're not good enough? I mean, it's a legitimate problem. Art is not an easy thing. On one hand, it kind of is. When you're just creating for the sake of creating. Or when you've already, whoops, what did I hit? Okay. Or when you've already done something so many times that it's not even difficult anymore. I am not good at houses, guys, and this is a very complicated thing that I'm trying to work on with no reference. Again, without reference. I don't know why I do this to myself. That's too high. So, you spend an inordinate amount of time in your life thinking that you can't do what it is that you want to do because you're just not good enough at it. And the problem is that without trying, you're never going to get good. But let's say that you have something like a magnum opus that you want to create, some incredibly ambitious piece of art. Um, Sometimes this takes the form of a comic, like it has for me. I have a very, very tough road ahead of me, y'all. I've got I've got a comic that I'm working on that's going to be a 10 issue arc. And each of these issues is going to be at least 20 pages. I have a script for 26 pages. It may turn into more pages if uh, if initial readings seem to need more. It's really tricky because I'm thinking about it all the time and what else I could do to improve it. And that's a trap you can fall into very easily. Is that you spend so much time thinking about what it is that you want to do and how perfect you want to make it that you never begin. Yes, I have gone a little abstract and wonky with this house. I'm just keeping entertained. So, okay, I am just a little bit distracted right now. But, ack, never mind about a balcony then. I don't think that I need it. Um, alright, so this will work for composition purposes. I have this roughly the size and shape. And of course, this isn't going to be the actual house. When I go into designing this, I'm going to find a good reference. Like, there's a lot of really nice Victorian houses that I could use. And I haven't picked one. But what we're going to do here is sketch in a little bit of a personality for the thing. And this way, now that I have it down on this layer, I'm going to be able to move this where I need it to go. I'm not going to want to I'm not going to want to make it too much smaller though. Alright, so I know it's a little bit of a ticky-tacky house right now, but I just need it in the background. I need to know where it is. It is a placeholder. And I really didn't have time to practice or learn to do the perspective ruler. Now, that actually has something to do with the topic today. I'm aware of my limitations. And I'm also aware that this is not the finished project or product. So I can experiment. So if I never did start off drawing this house, even though I'm not terribly good at making up architecture on the fly, then where would my hours to improve come from? Because you have to put in the hours. Okay, here we are on a new layer, layer 1. Let me do this a little bit later. Yes, I'm going to do a Gothic cover, or an outline, or a composition of a Gothic cover. These things are famous. Gothic romances are known for women with great hair running away from foreboding houses or mansions. kind of funny because that was a recurring nightmare I had. Oh, for years and years. Now I'm so tired I don't remember what I dreamed. So, when your work's not good enough, how do you improve? Well, you put in the practice. But you have this huge project that you're dying to get started on, but you're just not good enough. And you can't make it the way it appears in your mind. Well, I have some good news and some bad news, and it's kind of the same news. It's never going to look exactly like you wanted it in your mind. Or if it ever does, that's going to be so rare. Okay, so here's my basic layout. We'll do a new one. And zoom in on our figure. In, I said. Come on, little scroll function on the mouse. So if there's something specific that you want to do, and it's a big, long project, it's going to be really involved, you just don't have the skills, you don't even know where to begin, you're going to just have to pick a spot and begin because it's never going to look as good as it looks in your mind. Or, well, it's extremely rare that it will ever look as good as it does in your mind. And you're never going to know if you're going to get lucky that way unless you start trying, unless you just get going on it. So one of the things with this channel, I'm aware that it's not a terrific channel just yet. I'm getting there. Yeah, when I started, I couldn't even talk. And it's still kind of difficult to draw and talk at the same time, honestly. Alright, let me work on this and the shoulder here. This is not quite the way I want it. And it's because I got very sloppy with the anatomy. Alright, so we've got our top of the shoulder. Got a nice little loop right here. And this is the long muscle that goes down to the elbow. There's our elbow. And then we have a nice taper that goes down to the wrist. And I am trying to keep in mind the actual bones inside here. And this should connect more like here. Alright, back to where we were. Sometimes the only way to do something that you don't know how to do, the only way to achieve that skill that you want to achieve is to start. Like literally, you start to improve. That's how you do it. You get started. Yeah, I'm also writing a novel right now. I've got the first draft done. It was a very clean draft. But now it's time to edit. I have these fingers way too thick here. Might as well start over. Okay, that's close enough. I don't have to enclose those in a sketch. And see, this is actually going to be her side a bit. So, this doesn't have to be rounded all the way up here. So I needed to learn how to talk about my work, because how else am I going to tell anyone about the stuff that I'm working on and have the ability to continue writing and continue making comics and stories. What would I even do this for? if it wasn't helping me communicate with people. Yeah, it's something valuable. And I do have something valuable and important to say. I might not know precisely what it is just yet, but in order to get there, I have to try. One of the most valuable things I learned in an art class was from a girl who sat beside me and freaked out and did not actually draw anything. She wondered why she didn't get well, I don't know, maybe, eh, I can't really say what was in her head. The teacher was an extremely nice person. All he wanted was for her to try. She could barely bring herself to put marks on the paper. And that's what the paper was for, to put marks on it. You have the paper in front of you. You have a pencil in your hand. Make your mark. Start. Do anything. No, it's not going to look good. Yes, it's going to be horribly embarrassing. You know, but it's going to exist. And that's a positive. It's a thing that exists. And if you keep going, you'll have more than you started. Not only will you have paper with marks on it, or even digital paper with marks on it, but you'll have that time that you practiced. And whether you think you learned something or not, you did. You learned something. Yeah, I don't quite have the fall of the skirt correct. And I know something's wrong with that house. And sometime I've really got to get into doing real painting. well, digital painting. I've been doing a lot of sketches lately, and getting into more detailed work than this will be really good for me coming up soon. But that's all the time I have for tonight. And if you've stopped by and watched this, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time. And if there's something that you want to create, start in order to improve. Real quick, let me, whoop, no, that's a recipe. Okay, real quick, let me tell you about my comic Soulbound. It's about Becca Albright, a pragmatic med student who falls through a portal into another world of magic, myth, monsters, and mayhem. And it's available on Kindle for $2.99 on Amazon. And it's also available on otherrealmstudio.com. That's my website. And I have it in print there. And you can I have the PayPal card up here, and you can order that if you like. And also, you can just stop by my site and take a look at completed pieces. There's Becca and Torin, the sorcerously scarred warrior who she meets on her quest to return home. This is the Banshee from Heroes Fall by Morgan Newquist. I very rarely do fan art. I was playing around and I came up with this. I think I was half asleep and I had this image in my mind and I really couldn't resist it. But you can go to my website at www.otherrealmstudio.com and flip through my portfolio, and I have a newsletter. I have a contact form if you'd like to commission me for some art. That would be awesome as well. And there's my book. So I'd appreciate it if you check it out. That would be terrific. Not gonna lie. I worked so hard on this. So it's the first issue in a 10-issue arc. And it's going to be epic. But thank you for stopping by. I appreciate it so much. And I'll see you in the other realm. Good night.